Hello, everyone. Welcome to SoulSpace Podcast, Fall Edition.
Yeah, number 119.
Yep, number 119. Today, we're going to talk about our exploring intuition, and today will be about spirit guides.
Yes, which is very coincidental because I think we should bring this up at the beginning of our podcast. We are doing our first ever online readings gallery.
Yes.
Which is so exciting.
On Zoom.
We are, and we're doing it for the Halloween season because isn't it just a wonderful time to connect with your spirit guides, your higher self, your ancestors, and get advice to move forward at this perfect time of harvest season.
Yeah.
When everything's kind of in change mode, it's a perfect time to get a reading and learn more about your path forward.
Right.
And how to do that in the highest and best way. So it's going to be exciting.
Fun. And we usually do one in person at this time of year. Usually Halloween week we do one. But we thought this year, let's do one on Zoom so more people can come. Or there's always people from out of town that message us and, oh, I wish we could come, so.
Right. So now it's going to be all inclusive. Everyone, anyone can come.
I think we can fit 100 people in our Zoom or something, but we
have 100 people, and if we get more than that, we can always accommodate by buying a month of Zoom Pro.
That would be
we could do that. Zoom webinar.
Would be a good problem to have.
Yeah. I would love to use my free trial for that.
It wouldn't be a problem at all.
It's not a problem. It'd be wonderful. The more the merrier. We love doing our reading galleries, and they're always super fun and powerful. And
there's always a message for everyone. And depending on how many people we have, usually everyone gets a reading, but it's always a theme kind of that goes on. And people always hear, you always hear a message in other people's messages too. So it's just so cool and fun. And it's always the right amount of people that come together, and it's just fun.
Yeah, it is.
So we're really excited to do it on Zoom this year.
Yes, and it's going to be Wednesday, October
29th.
29th. I was trying to look at the date on our calendar over there. So it's Wednesday, October 29th, and we're going to be from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Time. Yep. And once we get the link up for purchasing a ticket, we'll put it in this podcast. So look below in the comments and we'll put a link for that for you if you're interested in joining us.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
We'll make an event on Facebook so you can see it there too.
Yep.
Connected to our SoulSpace page. Yep. And both of us, we can do connected to all of that.
Yeah, so you'll find it on all of our social media. Right. In addition to, obviously, in this YouTube video, and we'll try to post it a few times as we're going forward in the weeks toward it. Yeah.
I'm excited about it. It'll be fun.
Yeah, we're going to have a blast. So join us for that. It's going to be super fun.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about spirit guides.
Yes, let's. And this is a wonderful topic. I love the topic of spirit guides. It's one of my favorite things to do are my angel and spirit guide readings. Yeah. As you know. And so connecting with spirit guides is one of my favorite things to do. It's always uplifting. There's always loving messages. There's always something in there to get you motion forward when you speak with your guides. And it's just a beautiful experience. And so we're going to talk about what they are. Yeah. What are spirit guides? A lot of people ask that question. So we're going to answer some of those questions you guys have had for us over the years today. Yeah. And talk about connecting. And at the end, we're going to do a little spirit guide meditation.
Yeah. Out of Sylvia Brown's book. This one is so good.
Such a good book. Contacting Your Spirit Guide by Sylvia Brown.
Yeah. Yeah. So good. So where do we start? Well, how do you know, or what is a spirit guide? How can we explain that to people first? And there's so many different ways a spirit guide can come to you. Yeah.
There's a lot of different things we can talk about.
Right.
I know. So I have a book with me today. It's James Van Praagh, and a lot of people know who he is, right?
Oh yeah.
And This is his book, Heaven and Earth, Making the Psychic Connection. There's a whole section in here about spirit guides. And because the topic of spirit guides is a many layered question, because there are different types of spirit guides. And like you said, many ways that they come to you and things. But the way that I like to kind of make a synopsis of your spirit guides, the spirit guides who have been with you your entire life, are those people are your best friends on the other side. These are the people where you said, hey, I want to go do this physical life thing on earth. Would you be there for me? Would you help guide me through it? And they're like, yes, I have your back. 100%. Let's do this together. Those are the people that you said you asked them to help you. You said, guide me, help me through this because you've been through it before and I need your help. And they're like, yes, absolutely. I'll be with you there 100% of the time. They're your ride or die.
Yeah.
They're your best buddies on the other side. They're part of a lot of times your soul family as well. Yeah. The people that you trust implicitly to help you. And so doesn't it make sense to want to connect with them and to get assistance from them that they're constantly offering to you? And, making connection with them really is about having that two-way conversation more and more and more to help you along your way. And that's what they're there for, is just to assist you. They don't necessarily tell you what to do, but they might give you suggestions that'll help you to have a wonderful, joyful experience while you're here, the best experience possible, and to fulfill the things that you really wanted to learn about and become while you were here.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's so cool to know that you have that available to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
We can ask questions, we can ask for guidance, and they're always there and they'll always answer, but a lot of times they'll have to be asked to do that. They can't just interfere.
Right. They don't butt in. They might every once in a while
give you a nudge,
pop the messages in, give you nudges in different ways, especially if you're going in a way that is contrary to where you have asked to go. Through your asking, through your life. We've talked about, the first step is to ask, the second step is to get into alignment. They want to help you to be in that alignment space to really get to where you've asked to go. So of course they'll give you nudges and things, but they will never say you have to do this, you have to do that. Right. They're here as a guide, not as I'm going to tell you how to live your life. Right. And we have parents for that.
Yeah. And we always have free will. Yeah. Well, that's what parents are for a while, right?
Yeah.
They're supposed to lay off after a while, but yeah. No. You can't.
You're a parent for life. And I say that lovingly and in jest, of course.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes we kids, we need talking to.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Continue.
But there's all different ways to talk to your guides too. You can use cards, and we'll show these in a little bit. You can meditate, you can just ask for guidance, you can do channeled writing and ask your guides to come through. Sorry, my voice is not working today.
You can do readings with people like me that connect with your guides.
Yeah. There's so many different ways. And try them all, see what works best for you.
See what you like, what connects with you, what naturally comes easiest. Yeah. Kind of like we talked about last week with different ways to connect with your intuition, what comes easiest for you. Right. And how do you receive your messages? That's also how you most naturally receive your messages from your guides as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so fun when you explore that and go with your gut and see what feels good to try first if you haven't tried anything like this before.
And connecting with you guys is always a beautiful experience.
It really is.
Because, all that there really is there is love. And that's the beauty of it. It's like these people love you unconditionally and are there for you 100%. Right. And so isn't that beautiful that you have a bigger team on your side than a lot of people realize that they do. And how beautiful that is that you have people that you can rely on and count on no matter what. And all you need to do is be open to receiving their messages and the guidance that they have for you. Yeah. And just ask. like you said, just ask.
Just ask.
Just like angels, they're not going to just interfere.
Right.
But if you ask them for help, they will help to guide you.
Yeah. I know in this book, I haven't read the whole thing, but parts of it. It's Let Your Spirit Guide Speak, a simple guide for a life of purpose, abundance, and joy by Deborah Landwehr Engel. So in a little piece in this book, she talks about, and I won't read it today, but she talks about how to tell the difference between like your ego and your guide. How do you know what it is? And your ego is the one that wants to keep you safe all the time. So it'll tell you you're not good enough to do this, or no, that might not be the right thing to do. And because it doesn't want you to really grow so much. It wants
limit you.
Yeah, limit. That's right. It'll keep you, because it wants to keep you safe and in a comfortable space. It's hard for your ego to let you go into the unknown.
Like out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. So your guide is always loving. It'll always whisper a message, or it'll just pop into your head like we were talking about earlier before we started the podcast. Sorry. But how that message will just come to you when you're on a walk or in the shower, or something like that. It'll just pop in your head, and then it's your guide. When it's a loving, gentle message, that's always your guide.
Yeah, and it always feels good. It always feels positive. It always feels like inspiration.
Yeah.
And love.
Yeah.
And happiness.
It's guidance. It's always guidance, and it's always loving and trying to help you move forward.
Right.
Yeah. So let's read about let's see what James has to say.
Yes, and I love James. He's always very straightforward.
He is.
I like
He's such a great teacher.
Yes, I love it. I have taken a few courses from him.
And he's been here before in Fargo.
That's true. Yeah. There's a couple of people who've come to Fargo, and the only person I've seen in person is John Edward. Oh, which I love seeing him in person.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in person, but next time he comes here, I will.
Let's go together, because I want to go again. He's wonderful.
Awesome. I did see James Prague. I didn't take his class, but I saw him. I did take an online class of his, but I saw him he did a gallery at an expo one time, and I went to that. So good. So you can just feel his love fill the room. He's so caring and loving and wants to help people so much.
Whenever he speaks, you can feel his heart.
Yeah, you really can. He's awesome. Okay. What's he got to say?
Anyway, so yes, again, this is Heaven and Earth Making the Psychic Connection, James Van Praagh. And I'm on page 89, and it's entitled Spirit Guides.
Oh, imagine that.
Interesting. That's perfect for today, right?
Yeah.
So I'll just read a little bit, because he talks about guides and different things about them and different types of spirit guides, and answers a lot of the questions that you probably have that we could answer, but I feel like it's just nice to kind of read what he has to say. He has a really good section here, and I like it. Lays it out easy. Like angels, spirit guides are highly evolved beings that are a source of energy and expertise to us. Guides, like angels, are always learning and maturing. Working with us on Earth is part of their interdimensional training. They will attach themselves to us to learn a particular experience so they can progress as guides. You might say it is a two-way proposition. Guides help us to learn and grow, and we help them to improve their skills as guides. There are a variety of spirit guides that come in and out of our lives during the course of a lifetime. Some of them have walked upon this earth as spiritual teachers, leaders, and saints, while others may never have touched the surface. Jesus, Buddha, St. Francis of Assisi, and other saints and avatars are but a few of the illumined beings that have inhabited the earth plane. These are master beings that brought growth and spiritual development to soul groups. Although they no longer serve as personal guides, a consciousness evolved from their teachings remains on Earth. Some call this the Christ consciousness, or the cosmic Christ, and there's always someone on Earth whose destiny is to uphold this Christed awareness. The primary function of a spirit guide is to help, protect, assist, and inspire you in your spiritual evolution. People have asked me many times, do we all have a spirit guide? The answer is yes, we have many. Spirit guides come to us in many forms, including members of our family and friends who have passed over and continue to protect and watch over us. Guides will usually appear to us dressed in ways that are easily recognizable. For instance, a guide will wear either the robes of a monk or the garments of an American Indian, depending on our beliefs. This ability to resemble a variety of figures and expressions is used by guides to gain our trust. The most important thing to understand is that guides are always aware of our needs, even if we are not. Just like a teacher, a guide can show us the way and inspire us to make the right choices. However, it is always up to us to decide whether or not to follow our guide's direction. The following are but a few of the main spirit guides that come to us during an earthly lifetime. Master Guide. This particular being, who is involved in our everyday spiritual growth and wisdom, has been with us through many of our incarnations and continues to teach us the lessons that are necessary for our spiritual evolution. You might think of this guide as part of your soul family. You and your master guide agreed to work together prior to your incarnating. Often, you will be aware of this teacher as someone who keeps coming into your consciousness, especially in your dreams. You will feel a great affinity for this guide, as if you were a part of him or her. The job of a master guide is to inspire, guide, and teach us, as well as help direct us toward our destiny on Earth. This guide remains with us during the interim states of existence when we return to spirit. And a lot of times, those are the guides that people want to know. They want to get to know.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is even though they talk about, a principal guide and different types of guides, some people have more than one principal guide that have been here throughout their entire incarnation on Earth. And incarnation is your lifetimes that you're having here on Earth is your incarnation on Earth.
Yeah.
And so, it's interesting to talk about one, and sometimes people do just have one principal guide and then they have others who support them in specific ways. But it's interesting, how everybody, we're all unique.
Yeah.
And it's funny sometimes how we're unique in that journey as well.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's kind of fun. There's never just one way to do anything.
No.
And isn't that what's beautiful about this universe?
Yeah, it is. And everybody's unique, and that's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be. So why would you think that the guides or anything like that is going to be the same for everybody? If we're unique, that's going to be unique too. So
right. But what's beautiful about it is, every time you read about the subject, you find something that's in alignment for you. And this kind of gives you a guide and information so that you can explore your own guide group yourself as well. Yeah. And that's what's beautiful about it.
It's fun to explore it.
It is. I agree. Since your voice isn't working that great, would you like me to continue?
It doesn't matter. I can read a little bit. Till it cracks again.
I'm right there.
Okay. Gatekeeper or protector guide. This being's main role is to protect your space from any energies that might cause you harm or any entities that might take possession of you. This guide is particularly important in mediumship because of the multitude of spirit energies that bombard a medium's electromagnetic field. This guide also protects you when you go out of the body or into a trance state during meditation or at a development circle. Protector guides also assist us when greater strength or courage is needed. And that's something that you maybe can speak on a little bit because you're a medium. And, did you know you had a guide to protect you in that right away? Or was it something that you learned along the way?
I would say, well, I knew when I really started the journey to opening up to doing mediumship, like opening myself to communicate. Being a natural medium, it's just something I kind of dealt with, but knowing that I had a guide and finally being comfortable to open up to begin to do mediumship on purpose.
Yeah.
I did know that I had a main principal guide because I met them when I was doing my Reiki classes.
Oh, cool.
And so having met that guide, and then, my teacher talked about how they can help us in different ways.
Yeah.
I figured out that I could ask them to be with me when I'm doing those different things. So I felt safer if I was going out of body, or if I was reaching out to communicate and figuring out the different ways to create a filter as I began to figure out how to do this thing in a way that felt safe for me.
Yeah.
And so I have found that it's been instrumental in my growth to feel comfortable communicating outside of myself by having my guide with me to assist with that.
That's awesome.
And so I think that would be helpful to a lot of other people too, as they're opening up to their intuition, to say, hey, my principal spirit guide, whoever that is, or my master guide, as he calls it, will you be with me and protect me as I do this, so that I can feel comfortable enough to open up? And that's what a lot of people feel uncomfortable. Like, if I open up, am I going to let something in? Well, no, not if you ask for help with it.
Yeah.
A lot of people are afraid to ask for help. Ask your guide for help. They are your best friend,
right?
And they're there to assist you. And so when they talk about protector guide, your master guide can also help assist you and protect you as you're opening yourself up to your intuitive senses, or you're opening up to be a medium, or you're opening up to communicate with other non-physical beings and things like that. So you can use your spirit guide as a filter for that.
Yeah.
To help keep you safe, and to let you know, say, hey, let me know when I should come back to myself, or when I should stop, or things, so that can kind of help me feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And it's really about you feeling comfortable, is because that vibration of being comfortable puts out, I am safe.
That's awesome. Yeah. I know I don't have a particular guide for that, because I don't do mediumship per se, but I have a healing guides, that I learned of when I did Reiki too. And they're always there. And I started out with one when I first learned Reiki, and through the years I've gotten a couple more that come too. So it's really cool to know that they're there if you get stuck in a situation, or you don't know what exactly to do in a situation, or you need guidance or clarity on some things while you're doing the work. So yeah, it's awesome to have, and to know who they are, and to feel comfortable, and you just know their energy after a while, how to work with them.
But when they talk about like a protector guide, a lot of people think of that as their guardian angel.
Yeah.
And I would say that that's not inaccurate.
Right.
But your spirit guide is different than your guardian angel. But in this sense, that gatekeeper guide could be a guardian angel. And so you could think of that in several different ways as well.
Yeah. Good. Okay, your inspirational guide. These guides assist us in learning a myriad of soul lessons, like compassion, purity, patience, understanding, unconditional love, forgiveness, spirituality, and creativity. Sometimes these guides are with us for a period of time until the certain skill is developed. Such was the situation when a spirit guide came through by the name of Andre. I was attending a seance given by world-renowned medium Leslie Flint, and I was totally surprised by the outcome. During the seance, Andre told the group that he once lived as an artist in France. He said that he would remain close to me and help to develop my sensitivity as a medium, adding, in several years, this man will become well known because of his work in aiding the masses. He will write a book that will reach the minds of many. We are helping you, my friend, in this quest. You are not alone. Isn't that cool? Yeah. Andre reminded the group the spirit world is always involved in your earthly lives, decisions, and choices. Nothing in the spiritual realms can hurt you as long as you approach your work with discrimination and common sense. If a spirit tries to control you, you must recognize the behavior and dismiss the spirit from your life. So good. Okay, and then there's the helper guide. These things are drawn to us through the universal law of affinity, like attracts like. We attract what we need to or want to learn according to our interests. For instance, if you want to sculpt a statue, you will attract a helper guide that has expertise in artistic creativity. This also holds true for other inclinations. Writers will draw beings with writing expertise that inspire them in their endeavors. Scientists will ultimately draw guides that have an understanding of their particular areas of investigation. That's cool.
Love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And it's true, as you ask for things, you might have guides that come in and out to assist you with that.
Right.
And they might be human guides, they might be animal guides.
Yeah.
And I know, I think he goes into a little bit about animal guides too. And I mean, they can help you with things like abundance and investing. They can help you with your art. If you're an artist, they can help you with anything, any skill you want to develop.
Yeah.
Anything that you want to create within your life. And guides can come in and out to help you as you grow in those ways. And that's what's really beautiful is like your team isn't necessarily set.
Right. And we don't always have the same guide for our whole lifetime. They do come in and out. And, we might have a couple that are there always, but some of them just are there when we need them. And then they're off to help somebody else, probably.
Right. But then it's like, if there's a guide that we connect with, we can always ask them to come back in too and be with us for a while.
Yeah.
Because I have a Reiki guide that I'll do that with. That she was my very first guide that I met for my Reiki 1 class. And I still talk to her and I bring her in sometimes for different things. Yeah. And it's beautiful because then you can continue those relationships even if they're doing other things. Yeah, it's cool. A little bit about like an artistic guide. I've had that happen when I'm trying to draw something or paint something and I just can't figure out the configuration or how to get it. And I can ask for help. And if I can just let go and allow that to happen, it will help me. I did it painting a little kitten and I couldn't get the eyes right, and I did them like 3 times and I'm like, okay, I give up. I covered up the eyes, left it for a few days. I came back and it just worked perfect. I'm like, just got to get out of your own way sometimes. Yep. And that's when you get the best messages is when you're out of your own way. That's why people get inspiration in the shower, like you said. Right. Yeah. Because you're not really doing anything. You're just kind of going through the motions of your shower and then you're like, oh man, I can't write it down because I'm in the shower. Yep. Yeah. I'm getting that ringing in my ears right now, so I know that's true. It's like, you're right. All right. So the next type of guide is relationship guides. Relationship guides can include friends and members of your family that have your spiritual evolution at heart. The love bond that was created on earth continues to exist in heaven. This type of guide will inspire you to make choices for your highest good. I believe that this spirit being assists us greatly by creating relationship scenarios in our lives from which we can learn and grow. Our spiritual development comes first and is of the utmost importance to our guides. Whoever will help us to have a more complete understanding of life will be sent our way. No one is in your life by mistake. That's cool. I love that. And I love that he mentions that we're still connected with our loved ones by that bond of love, no matter whether they're still in physical or not in the physical form anymore. Yeah. I like that he brings that up. Yeah. It's so cool to know that they're always with us, no matter if they're on this side or that, they're always still there and they can always help us out and Yeah, and loved ones are happy to be part of our team.
Right.
You know, a lot of loved ones will come in with messages, group messages from our loved ones and ancestors when I do readings for people, no matter what kind of reading, whether it's a spiritual mediumship, whether it's the spirit guide and angels readings, no matter what it is, like there's usually a group message saying, hey, we got to get this through too.
Yeah.
Not just these particular people talking, but all of us as a group that love you.
Yeah.
And I think that's beautiful. Healing guide or spirit doctor. A healing guide is a being that is fully involved with our health. At times, this guide will inspire you to take better care of your physical well-being and will work with universal forces to assist in the correct alignment of your energy fields. Whenever you go through physical distress or illness, your healing guide will work on fusing healing cosmic energies into your force field. These healing guides or spirit doctors at one time might have been healers or doctors on Earth. Not until very recently was I aware of this particular type of guide, as you will see from the following episode. And here's a little story, and who doesn't love his stories?
Right. They're so good.
So we'll read it. The House on the Hill. On a trip to Brazil, I had an extraordinary opportunity to meet and collaborate with other mediums. I was invited to a healing center outside Rio de Janeiro. A German monk known as Fritz Luitz founded this center more than 30 years ago as an orphanage. As time went by, it evolved into a medical facility for underprivileged children. In its present incarnation, it is home to 200 mediums who are also licensed doctors and medical practitioners. They work exclusively with the most desperately ill children of the country. One of our discussions was about spirit guides. Several of the mediums told me about their contact with spirit doctors. I was told that these spirits have chosen to return to Earth to help the human population, and that certain spirits felt guilty about making wrong decisions on Earth and wanted to return so that they could make amends and free themselves of karmic obligations. In addition, many spirit doctors return to assist people in areas of the world where doctors are needed. On the last Saturday of the month, the weakest children are brought to a place known as the House on the Hill. It is a small house used exclusively for manifestation of physical mediumship. Its energy is devoted to manifesting spirit in physical form. Physical mediumship is extremely rare, and I was especially interested in seeing it firsthand. The wonderful people at the center were glad to let me witness this phenomenon, provided I conformed to certain disciplines prior to attendance. The rules were clear: no eating red meat, no drinking alcohol or taking drugs, and no sexual relations for 48 hours prior to the sitting. This abstinence regimen is to safeguard the physical energy of those present and to ensure that everyone's energy is strong enough for the manifestation to occur. At 5 o'clock in the evening, I was escorted up to the hill. I was given a locker and asked to change into an all-cotton top and pair of pants, similar to the scrubs a surgeon wears in a hospital operating room. After changing, I was led into a reception area furnished with several lounge chairs. I was told to wait there and to pray. As I closed my eyes in meditation, I could hear lovely angelic music filtering through the speakers into the room. The melodies helped lift my spirit and got me into the proper attunement for what was about to take place. After 2 hours, I and several others were led by a flashlight into another room, practically devoid of light. After my eyes adjusted to the darkness, I could see that the room resembled a small theater. All 200 seats were filled. A very faint blue light shone upon a raised stage in front of us. There were 5 beds on the stage, situated side by side, as in a hospital ward. One of the members of the congregation came onto the stage and, in Portuguese, asked everyone to recite a few prayers after him. The medium was already seated in a cabinet on the stage. The room became still, and one by one, 5 small children were brought up and laid on the beds. By now my eyes had adjusted to the darkness, and I could see clearly what was happening. I did not want to miss a thing, as this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Watching carefully, I noticed a small wispy cloud take shape in the center of the stage. The cloud continued to grow very slowly. It seemed as if hours had passed by as the energy continued to build, and the substance eventually turned into the shape of a man. This shadowy spirit was dressed in scrubs, right down to a surgical mask and latex gloves. He was holding a rod that looked like a conductor's baton and began moving from bed to bed, pointing the rod, which emitted colored lights, at the children's bodies. He worked extremely quickly using this mysterious rod. It took about 5 minutes to get through the 5 beds. These children were taken away, and 5 more children took their place. This continued for at least half an hour. I was overwhelmed by a simultaneous sense of wonder and gratitude. Then something occurred that I will never forget for as long as I live. 2 assistants walked up the aisle, stopped, and raised their flashlights toward my face. I knew they wanted me to go up on stage. I could feel my whole body shaking with the energy of spirit as I followed them. I lay down on one of the beds, not sure what to do or what to expect. I kept very still. After a few moments, the masked spirit, whose name I later learned was Dr. Fritz, appeared next to me. I looked up at his face and noticed his deep-set, peaceful, yet penetrating green eyes. He pointed the lighted baton at my abdomen. Lying there, I knew I was seeing a physical manifestation of a spirit, and I would not have forgiven myself if I didn't at least attempt to touch it. So I brushed my arm on the side of Dr. Fritz's leg and felt his solid physical form. The following afternoon, I went to lunch with one of the administrators of the healing center. She said that she had been talking with the elders about last night's experience on the hill. They want me to thank you for coming. Because of the high vibration of your energy, you made it possible for us to work on twice as many children as we normally do. We will be forever in your debt, as you will be in our prayers. I also learned that the spirit, Dr. Fritz, had particularly wanted me to come on stage for a healing. No one at the center had any idea that at that time I was having ulcer problems, which have since gone away.
Wow.
The experience in Brazil was so magical and enlightening that I often think about it when I am doing demonstrations. I am grateful to the spirit doctor for healing me on so many levels. I believe that the spirit world had given me an enormous gift of insight into the incredible power of spirit's involvement on Earth.
Cool story. That's so awesome when they have that kind of facility that can really do the good that they do. And
that's open to both physical and spiritual healing.
Right.
And how that creates a holistic healing experience that really gets to the root of the issue so it can be released so people can heal.
Yeah.
How amazing is that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome.
Beautiful.
It reminded me of that Dr. John, that is that Brazil too? That not doctor, God of John of God. Sorry. Dr. John.
Dr. John, I was trying to think.
No, he's a chiropractor. This is, I'm thinking of John of God that does the healings in, I think it's in Brazil. A lot of people will go there. I know a couple of people that have gone there for healings, and you have to dress all in white and you go up the mountain or something to where he is. And yeah, it's pretty cool that people can have those gifts, and really it's just about letting that in and allowing the guides to come through you to do that work.
And creating space for people to allow their own self to heal. To be, yeah. That's the thing. Some people, you have to be open to the healing as well. Right. It's a two-sided thing.
It is. And some people they don't know how to let themselves be healed.
Yeah.
Or they have a hard time letting that in, letting that be okay to be healed.
And some people, they struggle with the belief that they can heal from whatever they have.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's understandable. There's an underlying belief there in a lot of us that we can't heal. But once you let go of that through some type of healing, such as, freedom release method,
right,
where your conscious and your subconscious mind can become in alignment with that. I can heal my body. My body is a wonderful healing machine. Getting alignment with that. And that a lot of times those places create space for that belief to finally let go, so that you know that within yourself again, that your body is a wonderful healing machine.
Yeah. Cool stuff.
Awesome. Did you want to read about living guides?
Okay.
There's more. Can you believe it?
The deceased are not the only ones who are our teachers or guides. Often in life, we encounter people who come onto our path to direct and guide us. I have had many of these guides, but the most memorable of all is a woman I spoke about extensively in Talking to Heaven. Her name is Connie Leaf. When I was very young, Connie taught me the invaluable lesson of how to believe in myself. She bolstered the self-confidence and told me that I would make it to the world. I would make it in the world. Without this confidence, I don't know if I would have had the fortitude I obviously need to do the work I'm doing. I also believe certain friends and acquaintances are part of our lives as teachers. They help us by giving us a perspective that is usually different from ours. Friends will also see the best in us and stay with us during both good and bad times. There are friends who may come into our life for a short period of time, make their mark, and then leave. They too are guides. You just have to take the time to recognize them. I love that. We experienced that a lot when we had our little rock shop. You know, people would come in there and you never saw them again, but they left such an impression on people while they were there, or they had something to say that just like opened you up to something more. And it was such a cool thing to experience there. So many teachers and guides came through. And to help others, we had many people do readings and stuff like that there, and healings, and some of them you never saw again and you didn't know them to begin with. So, but they're the ones that made the most impression a lot of times. It was really cool. And, just to, no matter where you are, if you're really needing something, someone is usually sent to help you in some way. It's really cool to be open to that. One thing that comes to my mind is my husband. He was at an airport going somewhere for work or something, and his mom had died. I think it was a couple of years before that or something, and he was really missing her at the time. I mean, he always does, but this lady came up to him and talked to him, just said hi or something, and he felt this warm being, and she said, "Can I give you a hug?" Just random, and he said, "Sure, you can," and he's a big hugger anyway. And he said it felt exactly like his mom giving him a hug. And she just walked away, and he's like, "Oh my God," that was the craziest and coolest thing that had ever happened to him. And it was exactly what he needed in that moment, and he didn't even know it at the time. Really cool. So things like that happen all the time to people, and those are guides coming and helping us get through, or just to give us a reminder that we are loved.
Right. And sometimes we're that for other people too. Yeah. And sometimes we realize it in the moment, and sometimes we don't. Right. And that's kind of the beauty of it, is like sometimes someone will come back to you a couple of years later and go, this one thing that you said to me changed my life, or whatever. And you're like, wow. Yeah. It's amazing how we all have that effect on one another. We're all learning and growing together. Yeah. We're in this together, whether we realize it or not. Yeah. And that's why we need to have an open mind and not forget to love instead of breaking things down.
how about if we lift things up?
How about if we do that, Tracy? How about we uplift each other?
It's a good idea, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so
So there's one more thing. It talks a little bit about animal guides.
good.
So we'll do that, and then maybe we'll do our meditation.
Yeah, that sounds
That
good.
sounds wonderful, doesn't it?
I don't know where this came from.
I don't know.
Some kind of fuzzy.
Riley, it says. Many people have asked if animals can act as our guides and protectors, and I always answer with a resounding yes. As I have said many times, animals are the greatest teachers of unconditional love. I agree. A wonderful example of just such an animal angel appeared during a reading several years back. Erica Burlingame was in her mid-30s. She wanted to reach her father, who had passed into spirit several years earlier. Immediately at the start of our reading, her father appeared. Your father is speaking to me about wintertime, I said. He is showing me a pond. I don't understand what it means, but this is the image he is showing me. Erica thought about that image for a few minutes and then said, Yes, I understand. Go on. He's talking about a time when you were 8 years old. I don't know why he's mentioning this. Suddenly another spirit came through, which completely changed the feeling of the reading. Your father is talking about Riley. He has Riley with him, and Riley wants to be known to you. Erica began to cry. As soon as her eyes began to tear, I saw a huge Irish setter jump on her lap and give her a lick. There is a dog here giving you a kiss, I said with surprise. Erica nodded, taking a tissue out of her purse. She is obviously moved and emotionally overwrought. She tried to tell me something, but couldn't quite get it out. Save, she mumbled. We waited a few minutes so she could get a hold of herself. Once she calmed down, she spoke. Riley was my dad's dog. When I was a little girl, he would follow me around and wouldn't let me go anywhere on my own. It was strange. My family usually went ice skating at the local park. One day, I skated away from everyone and fell through some thin ice. The last thing I remember was my dad calling my name. The next thing I knew, I was in a hospital bed looking up at my parents. They told me that Riley saw me fall in and was able to grab my collar. He waited there with my jacket between his teeth until Dad was able to pull me out. Riley saved my life. From then on, I considered Riley my best friend. I particularly felt blessed to be in the presence of this great animal protector. The reading continued for some time. At the very end, Erica summed up her gratitude. Thanks, James. You brought through two of my guardian angels. I couldn't have asked for anything more.
That's so cool. Yeah, it's animals are so intuitive when they're on the earth, but it's really cool when they can be part of your life on the other side too, or when they're on the other side.
Yeah. Sometimes they're pets and animals you've known and loved. And sometimes they're animal spirits who come in to help you with particular things.
Right.
Like when he talked about animals that come, or spirit guides that come to you to help with particular skills or particular things that you're working on.
Yeah.
A lot of times those spirits will actually be animal spirits.
Yeah.
I've found, and one for me is a lynx that's been with me for many years. Cool. That helps me with different things. And that's one of my main guides now that came into my life later, and so everybody might have some of those animal guides that come in and out, right? Or we might have a pet that we have loved, or an animal that we loved in our lives. I don't think pet really sums that companionship up the way that it should, right? But yeah, but that also continues to be with us as a guide and as a loving spirit to assist us in life as we continue forward, even though they're in spirit. Yeah, it's cool. When we took a shaman class together, I had a horse that was my best friend all through growing up, well, not all through, but I had her probably, I don't know, 8th grade, 7th grade maybe, but I trained her and broke her and had her for quite a few years, and she was my best friend like a dog would be, but it was a horse. And
she passed away. And anyway, when we did the shaman class, we did journeys. And one of the journeys was meeting our dragon. And it really, my dragon was my horse. And it was such a cool experience to have that come through because I didn't expect it for one thing and didn't know that she would be there like she was. And now I just know that she's there all the time, and it's so cool. And people have dogs and cats that are the same way. And it's just so cool to know that just like our family members, our pets are always with us too on the other side. And really, really a special thing when you have something that special that can live on forever.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
I love that. So I think we're just gonna do our meditation.
Yeah.
And
good.
It is a meditation from contacting your spirit guide by Sylvia Brown.
Yay.
And it's wonderful. So
yeah,
get ready for that. Get comfortable in either a seated position or laying down, whatever's most comfortable for you for meditation. And we'll do a guided meditation for you. So if you do have this book by some happy coincidence, it's near the end of the book, starts on page 165, and it's a transcript of her spirit guide meditation, which I actually have in a CD in the back of the book. Isn't that nice?
Yeah. Who has CDs anymore? I do. Mine's missing out of my book, so it's probably in that stack over
Most
there
likely. That sounds right. In our CD stack that we have in our office, because we're old school like
we
that.
have a CD player.
We do have a CD player. So if you have CDs that you don't want that are wonderful for this kind of work, don't send them to us. We don't want
No, because I have buckets at home.
We don't have space. Okay, so get however is comfortable for you and just kind of take a deep breath in and blow it out. One more in and out. One more in and out. Just breathe normally, however is comfortable for you. Now simply place your hands in your lap with your palms upward. Sort of like a way of receiving grace. And I want you to put a white light all around you. Feel this descending of peace, harmony, quiet, and God-centeredness. So allow that energy, the white light, surround you, to fill you up. Feel yourself very relaxed. I want you to relax your toes and step of your foot, almost like you're unstressing. Relax your ankles, your calves, your knees, your thighs, up through your trunk, into your shoulders. Relax your upper arms, your lower arms, your hands, and even your fingertips. Then relax up through your neck, your face, your mouth. Relax your nose, your eyes, and your forehead and the top of your head. Let's even go behind the eyes now. Almost like we can make it the mind escape. Like so much dark smoke, not necessarily blank, but peaceful, quiet, like a vacuum. Not a vacuum in which knowledge doesn't come through, but also very much like the monks who, by the way, shave the top of their head because they feel that they could be infused better without hair on the top of their head. But let's say my opening in the top of my head, from my pineal gland to my hypothalamus to my pituitary, is open so that I can infuse and bring knowledge in. Not random knowledge. But what we want is only wonderful knowledge, divine knowledge, what I can help with, what I can adapt to, give warnings for, things that increase my psychic ability and my intuition. I'm open to this knowledge to help both myself and others on our journey. Now I want you to visualize yourself in a meadow. If you can't visualize it, sense it. And the meadow is very green. And all of a sudden, you're very aware that you're in light fitting clothes. If you're a man, you're wearing a long robe, like a lord used to wear. If you're a woman, then you might be in a gossamer robe, anything that's comfortable and free moving for you. You look down and you see in front of you white, brilliant white flagstone steps. They're not going upward. They're leading across this beautiful green meadow. With great anticipation, you begin to hop these stones. And they begin to wind around through this meadow. You feel the sun on your face, warm, the wind in your hair, and you keep jumping the stones. And all of a sudden, in the middle of this meadow, you see this beautiful white, gleaming gazebo, or feel its presence. It seems to be strangely not out of place. It's just there. And there's something familiar about it. Like almost that you were running ahead and you knew that you were going to come upon something that was that beautiful, shining, bright, and brilliant. And now you run up to this gazebo, and there's 3 steps leading up. You don't really go up those steps. You stand there for a moment. And out of the shadows of this beautiful gazebo steps a figure that appears at the top of the step. Take your first impression. Do not let imagination, the word, come in, the creation of your own mind. Just let it be. This entity, tall, short, medium, whatever it might be, begins to descend the steps. And there's such a marvelous sense of, oh, there you are. A familiarity, a feeling of positive energy, a feeling of love. This person has now descended the steps and puts their arm around you. You say to this person, "What is your name?" And hear their answer. Now, please don't be discouraged if it happens to be a loved one, because a loved one can sometimes have priority and to push the person or the guide out of the way and show up as William or Ed or whoever it might be. Don't push anyone away, because whoever's the most prominent or whoever you need may have just shown up. Go with the first impression of the name, even if it's not spoken. So much of this is telepathic. Now, with the guide's arms around you, embracing, you walk down the path again. The white flagstone steps. And right when you get to about the middle, before you get to the end, I want you to turn to the guide and ask them any question that you don't know the answer to that you would have to validate. Please don't be concerned that they would be upset that you have to validate this. Even if you want to ask a question about how long will it be before my finances, blah, blah, blah. Don't expect a long verbiage right yet, especially if you haven't met them before. I'd say, give me a time in which my finances will be better, or that I'll find someone. Take the first impression. If it's 2 years, 6 months, 3 weeks, take your first impression. So take a moment now to ask a question of your guide that you would like an answer to, that you could validate. Now that you've asked your question, do you have an answer? Now you can continue down the flagstone steps until you come back to the meadow where you started. You can say goodbye to your guide, or see you later, as it were. Now, because you're going to come back to yourself, you leave your guide there. But that doesn't mean that your guide is there, because you're just coming back to yourself, your own dimension. But the guide stays right next to you. You've just gone on a higher plane to meet your guide, is all. But before you come back to yourself completely, you turn to the right, away from the flagstone steps. And all of a sudden, you walk a few feet, and you see right in front of you huge brass doors that seem to be standing upright. Curiosity is a marvelous thing. And they have big rings on them, the doors, and they look heavy. But you take one of these rings and you pull it, and my God, it doesn't just swing open. And you look down this long hallway. You're barefooted, and you find yourself entering this long hallway. And you're aware that pink marble on the floor under your feet is very cool. Still wearing the same loose clothing, and you run with anticipation. Even if you feel in this life you can't run, boy, are you running now, because the spirit can run. And all of a sudden you come to another set of doors, very much like the first, not as large, and you swing them open with no effort. All of a sudden you're in a round room, bathed in pink light. Pink light, of course, is always love. Pink is always love, very pink. And all of a sudden your eyes become accustomed to the pinkness of the room. Everything stands out in great relief. You look ahead of you, and there's what looks like an altar stone, like what priests stand behind, or now they stand in front of, and you find yourself circling this room, and it's heavy, draped, pink drapes. Something pulls you to this altar stone. You run your hand for some reason under the altar stone, and your finger hits something that's metal, and you realize it's a key. Now you run your hand over the top of the marble, and there's a keyhole. You put this gold key in the keyhole and turn it, and all of a sudden the curtains part. And out of the curtains, almost like a stage, guide steps. And it's the same form of the person. And they guide you to another part of the room that also has curtains, and they open. Your guide directs you almost telepathically to ask any question you wish. Now here's what we're going to do. This is when we're going to go higher up, just like a lovely lady has asked me. Is it from my guide? Is it from God? Because we have to have things. We can't just be nebulous. Eventually, you will be. And you've got to have the exercises. All of a sudden, a golden scroll drops. Beautiful, golden, brilliant. Almost like you think of something that was written like the Ten Commandments. And your guide is sort of telepathically saying, ask God. You stand in front of this, almost like a sacred scroll, and you say, Dear God, I want to know, and ask your question. And all of a sudden, you see the words of your question begin to form. You could ask, how is my health? How are my finances going to be? What can I do to avoid anything that is health related? What should I do about my family? You might even get the words, come, go forward more, or back off. Even that in itself is an answer. Take a moment and ask your question and see what you get on your scroll. The guide now has their arm around you. And now this is also a room in which you could find your loved ones if you wish. Even as we talk about it, you feel them begin to congregate around you. And also, so do your angels. Because it's like a tabernacle. Because of the altar stone, you can make it as beautiful as you want. You can put anything on there or just have it plain. This is your space. Now you turn around and your guide leads you back to the door. You walk down the marble hallway and your guide is walking with you. You're laughing, you're talking. You can also ask them something if you wish and wait for an answer. It might be very short or succinct or to the point, and that's fine. Later on, if you keep doing it, it'll get more elaborate. Come all the way back through the doors now. You've already come through the first set of doors. And now you're reaching the big set of doors. And now, all of a sudden, almost like a kaleidoscope, all of a sudden you're at a seashore. Oh my, it's so warm and beautiful. Sand is white. You dig your toes into the warm white sand. You feel the lap of the ocean on your toes. With such a sigh of relief, you lean your back against a palm tree. It's like everything's melting away from you. All the pain, worry, family, heartaches, hardships are all leaking out of your body, going down your whole body, through your legs and into the water, and letting the tide pull it all out from shore. From the right again, out of the shadows walks your guide. This is your shorter version. This is one you can use with a code color if you wish, such as blue, pink, or white. Ask them any question you wish in this space, but don't get too complicated. Just ask one thing at this time. And even if you don't understand what they're saying, the time will come, and maybe it'll hit you right between the eyes and say, oh, that's what they meant. It didn't make any sense to me at the time. Your guide comes over and sits with you and holds your hand. And more than anything, lets you know that whatever happens, they will never leave you. And at the moment of your passing, not only will your loved ones be there, but the guide will pull you through and out, take you directly to God. And now it's time to leave your guide and come back to your body from this beautiful space of the beach. See yourself float back now into your body, through your head, your neck, into your shoulders and arms, down through your legs, all the way to your toes, and wiggle your toes. And when you're ready, open your eyes.
Cool.
You brought us on quite a journey there.
Yeah.
I had to skip some parts. It was so long.
It was good though. It'd be, for starter, a starter one would be better in smaller chunks, but yeah.
That was
It was
a long
cool.
one. But it's cool because, even if you don't want to do like a whole meditation like that again,
Mhm.
you could take a chunk of that and you could do where you just go into the meadow and you meet your guide there.
Mhm.
Or you could just go to the beach and meet your guide there.
Yeah.
Or you could just go to your healing room and meet your guide there.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's so many different ways that you could do that on your own again,
Right.
if you don't want to do the whole journey.
Mhm.
Because that's a big journey.
It is.
And you got to ask a lot of questions there. And whether you got an answer or not at this time doesn't matter so much as the fact that you're working on connecting
Right.
to your guide.
Feeling that connection is important. And once you feel that a few times, it gets easier and easier.
And if you didn't get an answer to your questions when you asked them yet, Just kind of pay attention to the things that happen after you did this journey and see how those messages that you're receiving throughout your day might connect to the questions that you asked.
Yeah.
Can be kind of a neat thing. So even if you ask the questions and didn't hear an answer back, the answer is on its way.
Yeah. For sure.
When you allow it, probably in the shower later.
Yeah.
As it happens,
or doing dishes or whatever.
Walking or
it's usually when you
working on your spreadsheet.
Don't expect it, right? Yeah. So play with your guides now that you know a little bit about that, and let us know what you see, if it's unexpected, if it's something you expected to come up. It's really cool to play with, and don't make it so serious all the time. Your guides have a sense of humor, and you showed that in there. The guides are just as fun on Earth as they are on the other side. So.
And a lot of them like to laugh and make jokes.
Right. Yeah, it's awesome. So good.
Joy is important.
Yeah, it really is. Laughter's the best.
I agree.
So, Carissa, where can we find you?
You can find me online. You can find me at Light of Hope Healing on Facebook, or you can also find me on my Square site, which is ridiculous, which is light-of-hope-healing.square.site. Light of Hope Healing with a bunch of dashes in between .square.site. You can also find us collectively on Facebook at our SoulSpace.
Yeah.
And on YouTube at SoulSpace Podcast.
Yeah.
And then you can find me in person in Fargo the first weekend in November. That Saturday, we're going to be doing the Souls of Spirit Expo in Fargo at the Ramada Inn. So that's going to be amazing. Come join me for that.
Yeah.
And I'll be in Bismarck 2 weekends from then as well.
Awesome.
So I'll give the specific dates maybe later when I remember what the dates are.
Next week.
Tracy, if people want to find you on the interwebs, where could they look?
Yeah. I am at inspiredsignals.com. All my links are there, but you can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at Inspired Signals, and at Inspired Signals Studio for my art stuff. Yeah, that's about it. I have some Reiki classes coming up. They're posted on my business page on Facebook. And I have some art classes, art for wellness, kind of art therapy a little bit.
Yeah.
Those will be coming up. I'm still buckling down a couple dates, so hopefully I'll get that out this week. So yeah, lots of fun stuff coming up this fall. So.
Yes. And remember to join us on October 29th, 2025.
Yeah.
For our online gallery.
Yeah, mark that down and we'll get that event up within the next day or so, and
we'll get that link in this video for you as well.
Yeah, that's going to be so fun.
Can't wait.
All right. We will see you next week. Have an awesome one. Go have some pumpkin spice latte.
Yeah.
Pumpkin spice anything.
Pumpkin spice
everything. Bye-bye.